Welcome to Retro Toy Princess. I'm Allison Troy, and this is Villain Obscura, dedicated to rare and obscure villains who are finally getting their day in the sun. On October 3rd, 2023, Mattel released news of their Spring 2024 offerings in the Masters of the Universe line. Among these were several characters in the Origins scale that may have left some fans scratching their heads. Two new Snake Men were announced, and these are both very deep cuts. Terroar and Lord Grasp may seem like new characters, but they actually date back to 1987 when planning for the 1988 Masters of the Universe line extension was underway. 1987 had seen the release of the Masters of the Universe live-action movie, but it had not generated the interest or increase in sales that Mattel had expected. The Masters of the Universe brand was fading and losing the interest of its core audience. Plans for the Powers of Grayskull line revamp were progressing, and two characters for that extension, Hero and Eldor, were already in the last stages of development before production would begin. Both of these characters even got far enough to have fully designed cards mocked up. To cut costs while still providing many new characters for this line extension, Mattel came up with 6 new characters that were kit-bashed from existing tooling. Among these were 2 Snake Men, Lord Grasp and Terroar. Terroar came from Whiplash, Trapjaw, and Rattler, while Lord Grasp was made up of parts from Squeeze and Clawful as well as the generic human buck. Unfortunately for these 2 Snake Men, Mattel decided to end the Masters of the Universe line before they got any further than having card art by artist Errol McCarthy. This would have left them as the most obscure villains, never to have been known beyond the archives of Mattel's production offices. However, they were not doomed to complete anonymity. In the late 2000s through the mid-2010s, Mattel and Super 7 released Masters of the Universe Classics. This comprehensive line featured many characters from across Masters of the Universe lore. In 2017, when Super 7 was producing the line, a PowerCon exclusive was announced. This 3-pack included both Terroar and Lord Grasp, as well as Plasmar, who is another figure from the cancelled 1988 line extension. They all received the standard bios of the Classics line, fleshing out their backstories, faction allegiances, and doing their best to take the place of a cartoon or other media that would have appeared in the 1980s as a way to tell kids who these characters were and how they fit in to the overall story, as well as their powers and abilities. Both characters had bios included in the supplemental edition of the Masters of the Universe character guide. Lord Grasp was a master strategist and general of the Unnamed One. Grasp was sent by the Unnamed One to negotiate a treaty with Horde Prime. As part of this treaty, he let the Horde enhance the Snake Men that journeyed there with him, resulting in the Snake Troopers. He was responsible for persuading King Hiss to join an alliance with Hordak, which resulted in the Snake Men being imprisoned beneath Snake Mountain. Lord Grasp escaped the imprisonment and would later join Lady Slither in her quest to conquer Eternia. Terroar is from the dimension of Melodian. The Melodians were creatures of sound and did not have bodies. Terroar was cast out of that dimension due to his violent nature. He was frozen and sent through interdimensional space and crash-landed in the ice mountains of Eternia. He remained there for several thousand years, until he was unfrozen during a battle between the evil warriors, the Snake Men, and the Horde. Taking upon the attributes of several of the fighters, Terroar gained a physical form so terrifying it caused the 3 factions to unite against him. His supersonic roar, however, allowed him to escape, and later he'd be enlisted by Lord Grasp into a new army of Snake Men. After Mattel took the license back from Super 7, they began the Masters of the Universe Origins line. Origins was conceived as a line that was a direct adaptation of the vintage toy line, with modern articulation but those retro designs. It began in 2020, and due to its extensive reuse of parts, Mattel has been able to get very deep into the Masters of the Universe lore. Over the last year, both Terroar and Lord Grasp have been teased on the packaging for various figures released as part of Origins, as well as the box for Snake Mountain. And now, in fall of 2023, Mattel has announced that Lord Grasp and Terroar will be added to the Origins line. Exclusive to Walmart, the figures stay true to those original designs and reused tooling from figures previously released in Origins. Lord Grasp is made from the head of Squeeze, the right arm from Clawful, a torso, waist, legs, boots, and the human buck that He-Man utilizes. His left arm looks like it could be the generic monster arm, but the picture provided by Mattel combined with the paint scheme make this difficult to tell. Once this figure is in hand, or when better pictures are released, we'll know for sure about his left arm. He does share a cape with Scareglow. Terroar is made from the head of Whiplash, the torso and tail, plus waist and left arm from Rattler, a right arm from the forthcoming cartoon Chopjaw, and boots from Mosquitor. Most likely his legs are also from Mosquitor since the boots on that figure are not universally swappable among the Origins line. This has been Villain Obscura. If you like this video, don't forget to smack that like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. For now, this is Allison Troy, Retro Toy Princess, and I'll see you in the next one.